club members. My name is Kyle Parsons, and I thought I would take this time while I am stuck at home, as I'm sure most of you are as well, to talk about a very strong passion of mine, which is skincare. Now, I know you might be thinking, I'm young and I'm a man, so what could I possibly know about skincare? Well, I like to think I at least know a decent amount of stuff about skincare because, for one, I have been dealing with acne most of my teenage to adult life, so I've been very into experimenting with products and seeing professionals to help my skin, and even to this day, I regularly see my dermatologist, my plastic surgeon, and my esthetician. So I kind of get their perspectives from their various industries, and I get advice and tips from them, and I also like to do my own research as well. And so I thought that I would just, take this time to make a short little video about some tips and advice I have when purchasing skincare and just overall how to help your skin. So first things first, SPF is a must. I do not care how old you are. I do not care how tan you are. You need to be wearing SPF on a daily basis, and it needs to be at least SPF 30. Now, I say this because it is much easier to prevent damage than it is to treat damage. And the sun, you may or may not know, is the leading cause of aging. So no matter what, the sun is the most harmful thing you can do to your skin. And whether, we like to go out, we like to vacation, we like to be in the sun, which is totally fine, but you need to be wearing a daily SPF. So that is just, I'm gonna say that's the very first thing. That is a must. If you're gonna do anything to your skincare routine, if you're gonna have a skincare routine, SPF every day just needs to happen. So getting that out of the way. Okay, the second thing I'm gonna tell you is that natural does not mean better. So you'll see a lot of skincare companies, they'll try to use their marketing tactics to say that they're an all-natural brand and they only use natural ingredients and they don't use chemicals, and they like to use the word chemical as a scare tactic, like it's something to be afraid of, when in reality, everything's a chemical. Water's a chemical, you're a chemical, like everything's made up of chemicals. And so it's really just a unnecessary scare tactic that they try to do. And on top of that, there's plenty of natural ingredients that are not bad, that are not good for you, such as lead. You're not gonna go rub your face in lead, and that's a natural ingredient. There's natural plants like poison ivy. You're not gonna put poison ivy on your skin. And even, grass, some people are allergic to grass. So there's plenty of things that are natural that aren't good for you. And I just wanted to point that out. So when you're looking for a skincare brand to shop for, don't be swayed by something just because it says it's all natural, and don't be afraid of something just because it's a chemical. Do your research if you're that curious about it, but I just wanted to point that out there because there's a lot of misinformation when it comes to natural beauty brands and the stuff that they put in there and how they're chemical free, and you just, do your own research when it comes to that. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is where to find the 1% line on a product's ingredient list. So when you're looking at an ingredient list, you'll notice that it starts with the highest concentration of an ingredient all the way to the lowest concentration. And you don't know how much of each of the ingredients are used in that product because they don't specifically spell it out for you unless it's one of their highlighted ingredients, like maybe vitamin C or retinol or something. Then they might highlight how much is in that product, but most of the time you're not going to see a percentage of how much each ingredient is in that product. So the trick is to look for the ingredient phenoxyethanol. Now this is where you're going to notice where anything that comes after phenoxyethanol is less than 1% in that product. And that is because phenoxyethanol, if you don't know, it's a more natural preservative to parabens. So when this huge scare came up about parabens in skincare, phenoxyethanol was a more natural alternative to parabens. So you'll see that in a lot of skincare products. And they have a maximum dose of 1%. So skincare brands cannot put more than 1% of phenoxyethanol into a product. So you'll know if you just look for that one ingredient, you'll know everything that comes after that is less than 1%. And the reason why this is important is because a lot of skincare brands will try to misguide you and say that, they'll try to advertise a product that might be a vitamin C moisturizer. And if you go and turn it around and you see that it has vitamin C, which the synthetic term would be L-ascorbic acid, that's one of them. And if you see that that ingredient comes after phenoxyethanol, you know that it's not very potent and it's not going to do much for your skin. And the next thing I want to talk about is fragrance in skincare. Now, personally, I do not like fragrance in skincare. There's no benefit to fragrance in skincare. There's nothing that it does for you besides make it smell better. That is literally all it does. And if anything, it has a higher chance of being sensitizing to the skin, so it can actually irritate your skin. And even if you don't notice anything right away, you can end up being allergic to the scent over time, and you can develop a sensitizing reaction to it. And also you can get contact dermatitis. There's things that can happen for having fragranted products. And so I just stay away from fragrance and fragrant essential oils in skincare. I do not like them in my products. The only exception I would say would be in a cleanser, because a cleanser is a wash-off treatment. So if you have a little bit of fragrance in a cleanser, it's not as irritating because it's not going to be sitting on your face for a long period of time. But just in general, I do not like fragrance. I do not like fragrant essential oils. And the thing is, when it comes to essential oils, there are certain essential oils that you should look for that don't need to be in a product and can be irritating. And the fragrant essential oils that I always look for are anything citrusy. So if you see like a lemon or a grapefruit or a lime extract, any of those citrus extracts, stay away from. Any mint essential oils, so peppermint, even like menthol, if you see those ingredients in a skincare product, I always stay away from that just because they can be sensitizing to your skin. Some good oils though in skincare are things like carrot seed oil, avocado oil, jojoba oil, rosehip oil. Those types of oils are totally fine because they're actually meant and they actually serve a purpose in a skincare product. There's vitamins, there's properties to it that they serve a purpose. Whereas essential oils like lavender or any of the citrus ones I mentioned or any mint essential oils, those don't serve any purpose in a skincare product. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is alcohol in skincare, because there's a difference between the fatty good alcohols that are in skincare and the drying and damaging alcohols that you can find in skincare. So if you see anything that's labeled plain alcohol, just alcohol, denatured alcohol, alcohol denat, SD alcohol, these are all drying alcohols and do not need to be in a skincare product. And they're used generally to let the other products seep into your skin or penetrate your skin deeper. But there are alternatives to those drying alcohols, and so I always stay away from anything that has those alcohols listed in them. Now, some of the good alcohols that you can find in skincare are cetyl alcohol, ceteryl alcohol. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you can also just Google what are the good alcohols in skincare and you'll find a few of them in there. And those are the ones that won't be damaging to the skin, they won't be sensitizing, and they won't dry out your skin. Whereas the other ones you'll want to watch out for. And at least what I would say, if you do buy a product with denatured alcohol or alcohol denat in a skincare product, at least make sure it's towards the bottom of the skincare list. If you find alcohol denat within the top, I would say 6 ingredients, I would steer clear of it, definitely. And I usually don't even buy anything with denatured alcohol in anything, but if you do, make sure it's at least towards the bottom of the skincare list, because that way you'll know you're getting a low concentration of it and it shouldn't be as bad for your skin. Okay. And I'm sure, I don't know if you might not know this, but when you apply your skincare products, you always want to start from the thinnest to the thickest. So you'll want to use your serums and your actives before moving on to your thicker moisturizers or your eye cream or any of those products. So you'll just, that's like a general rule of thumb. That's why you start with your essence and your toner, and then you move into your serums and your actives, and then you move into your moisturizers and more occlusive products. That's just a general rule of thumb when applying skincare, just to make sure that they can penetrate the skin better, because if you're putting on, a thick moisturizer and then you're putting on like a retinol after that, it's not going to penetrate your skin as deeply as it would if you put that product on before you put on a thick moisturizer. So that's just a general rule of thumb to go by when you're applying your skincare products. And another tip that I have is just to know that the products that you're putting on your face, they absorb better when your skin is damp. Now, I know when I was younger, I used to want my face to be dry after getting out of the shower before putting on my products, but I've learned from speaking with professionals that when your skin is damp, your skin actually absorbs it better, and it's able to penetrate deeper into your skin. So when you get out of the shower, if you go and shower and put on your products, you want your skin to still be damp, and so if you don't dry your face when you get out of the shower, that can be one way to keep your skin wet. So by the time you go to put on your products, you're not super dry on your face. If you do want to put like a toner or an essence on first to kind of prep your skin to get it a little more damp before you apply your products, that's always an option as well, and that's what I do. I use an essence for my skin before I put on my products, just to kind of dampen the outer layer of the skin and so that my products can penetrate deeper. And then lastly, I just want to say that whatever you do to your face, make sure you do it to your neck, your décolleté, and the tops of your hands, because you're going to show the most signs of aging you're going to see on your neck, your chest, and your hands. So whatever serums and products you're using on your face, make sure to also use them on your hands as well, because you don't want to have a perfectly young face and then a very aged neck and very aged hands. And I'd also say too, you can never start skincare too young, because there's a lot of people that I've talked to, at least, I'm 25 and I use anti-aging stuff. I use stuff that, I still have breakouts, so I still have to use acne products. I'll use anti-aging, and there's people that are like, why are you so concerned about skincare? You're only 25. But like I said earlier, if you're, it's easier to prevent things from happening than it is to treat things. So I'd rather take great care of my skin now and have less work to do when I'm older than to, not care about my skin right now and then have to do a bunch of damage control when I'm older. So that's just a thing too. Don't ever think you're too young for skincare. And also, it's never too late to start skincare. So no matter how old you are, it's never too late. You can be 80, 90 years old and start skincare and it'll still benefit you. You may not see, as good of results as someone that started when they're 20, but no matter what age you are, it's gonna benefit you to take care of your skin and you're gonna feel better. Well, okay, that is all I have for you guys. I just wanted to make a quick video just so you can kind of get some basic knowledge that I have about skincare and pass it along to you guys if any of you are interested. And if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. Even if I can't answer them or I don't know the answer to the question, I can direct you to a professional that I know, or I can go find the answer myself if I need to. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I hope you guys are staying safe out there during this quarantine. And I hope to see everyone soon back at the club.